doing good. I'm recovering from my
Your surgery,
sunbathing.
your sunbathing incident.
Yes, too much sun, I guess, is not good for the skin, but it's so good for your soul.
It is. It is for sure.
We we we're going to talk a little bit about lucid dreaming,
Oh, okay.
and we're going to talk a little bit about the magnetic pull with twin flames,
The magnet
and
of
a
death.
little bit about astral projection, because you know I want to talk about how there's this research and stuff that, before you go to bed, you can meet your twin flame or your soulmate like in a dream if you're like apart from each other.
Hmm.
But you were just going to share a story about something weird that happened when you were with a friend or something from years ago. What were you going to say?
Oh, this is like no. So we were talking about lucid dreaming before we started recording. And like and subscribe if you like lucid dreaming. Smash the
Yeah.
like button because everybody likes to smash. Anyways, um, I was at a friend's. I just woke up and I kind of like opened my eyes. I'm on the side of the bed and the window's open, the blinds are open, and I half asleep and I roll back over. I maybe must have dozed off for a minute or two, and I open my eyes and they have, I mean, in sleep paralysis, they describe as shadow people.
Yes.
You can see the outline of a figure. You're looking at somebody from another dimension. I don't know. There's all kinds of weird explanations for it. And I've had sleep paralysis before and felt that weird feeling like somebody's in the room. You can just see something out of the corner of your eye and you can't move, but you're awake and you can't move yourself. Like, very weird. And I've had it happen a few times, but this takes the friggin' cake. So I
Really?
I open my eyes. It's completely daylight in the room. The blinds are open. It's bright. It's like morning, bright sunlight. And I open my eyes and there is a full body figure of like maybe a 6 foot-ish tall person leaned over, like looking down on me, maybe like that far from my face. And I am literally frozen and they are completely black. Like, you can see the outline of the arms in 3D. It's all black. There's no
Do you
eyes, no
think it
face.
was, do you think it was an alien?
No.
No?
Dude, I was like literally in the sleep paralysis state. I wasn't
Yeah.
scared. I wasn't scared. I wasn't
Okay.
afraid. I wasn't nervous. And where their eyes should have been were just like, I don't know, it was a little bit darker and like swirling. So like you could see that there was like something there, but it was all black. It was the weirdest experience of my life. Like, it was a head, it was a 3D head, like you're looking at my head, but everything was just a void of black. And geez, this went on for a good, oh God, almost a minute. And it's just like, didn't move, didn't come out. I was literally that far from my face. It was the freakiest experience of my life. I couldn't move. I was awake. I was
I've
lucid.
heard
My eyes were
stories.
open. Crazy.
I've heard stories like this before, and they were like working on someone. They said it was an alien, but it was some other being, like they weren't really sure. That was just like how they described it. But I don't know. I guess it could just be like some being from like another dimension
That's
too,
what
right?
I, from what I've read up on, that's kind of the general consensus. I was telling a friend of mine, and she'd said her mother would have described the exact same thing, a black figure, and when she'd wake up in the middle of the night and couldn't move, and it would be like straddling on her chest. Same thing, like looking over her, like
All
that
right.
far
Well,
away. Crazy.
let's clear that energy, because I want to talk about something.
No, I didn't get a negative vibe from it, or like I didn't feel like I was in danger or nothing bad. It was just the weirdest experience. But some people, like, we're talking about
Rattling.
lucid dreaming. Okay. And lucid dreaming is kind of like when you're awake in your own dream, correct?
No. So lucid dreaming is when you can dictate what you're going to dream about before you go into your dream state.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are aware of the fact that you're dreaming while you're dreaming.
That's what I
The
meant.
two
Like, you're
parts.
in your dream and you're like, shit, I'm dreaming. Now I can fly like Superman. That never works for me though.
And if you are preparing, like before you go to bed, and you're having like this kind of practice of like, well, I want to meet this person in my dreams. I want to have a visit from this person. Like, for me personally, I've had a lot of visits from loved ones that are on the other side or have passed over in another dimension, however you want to call it, like that have died from the, not on the
Mm-hmm.
planet anymore, because we're more susceptible, because our subconscious is open. And that's why the astral projection and all that stuff and the lucid dreaming, it's always like right before we go to sleep or while we're sleeping. So usually if you have a visit from a loved one who's passed, who's crossed over, who's not here anymore in physical form, it's easier for them to come visit us because we're open. Our ego is sleeping, right?
Mm,
So our subconscious is very susceptible and is more, and the subconscious is what's underneath the regular typical mind, you know, it's the deeper level and it's part of our soul and such. So also, if you have someone that you're missing, a twin flame, a soulmate, a lover, and you are apart, you can, you know, when you're drifting off to sleep, you can think and ask like permission, like I want to meet them in my dreams. Can you meet me in my dreams? And I've heard that, and I kind of been experimenting with this and the astral projection thing, and it really works when you focus and you concentrate and you practice. And it's
mm.
like meditating. I think like the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And sometimes I think you can even get like business ideas, and I'll wake up sometimes and I'll be like, I have to do this. I have to record this, or I have to talk about this. And it like comes out of nowhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I think there's meaning behind it than just like, oh, I want to do this. Like we get more in touch with our higher self, our soul. You know, we can get answers to things if we ask and we're open.
Hmm. I'm just thinking about lucid dreaming like a 5'2" blonde tonight on a beach
Whatever you
someplace.
like,
Hey,
whatever you like, your Barbies, you know.
I did blondes when I was younger. I don't do haven't dated blondes in a while. Um, was a phase. No. Single as a Pringle these days and loving it. It's the only way to
Yeah,
be.
well, I mean, whatever makes you happy. If you're doing self-love and self-worth and all that too.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just focusing on work and stuff these days, so I don't have time for all that and dealing with my small humans. But
I
no,
think you I think you always have time for love. You're just choosing not to have time for it.
I'm not choosing not to have time for it right now. My truck's in the shop. I that's gonna be a huge build right before Christmas. It's December 6th today we're recording. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have any time or energy or extra money for entertainment expenses. But
All right. Well, you could do your lucid dreaming for entertainment, I guess.
that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna try and lucid dream. Like I need a vacation. It's been way too long, and I'm gonna lucid dream myself to an island with a +1. +1 is TBD. So
That's so funny because I was doing that last night. I was literally I'm in your head again.
who was on your
I
island with you?
I I said to someone, I was like, oh, I want to go to Bali. And they were like, oh, you better start saving. And I was like, no, I'll just manifest it. And I just did a visualization like before bed. And I told my daughter to do it too. Cause you know, the consciousness, the group consciousness, when one person, it's sure to pass, but more than one, it definitely will pass.
I
Um,
can't. You're like, you're just so weird, Jess. Because I was
why?
supposed to have a conference call with a good old friend of mine today for a business deal that we've been working on.
Yeah.
And he went to Bali a long time ago and bought his bedroom set. And he was there for like 2 weeks. And just the fact that you said he like couldn't do it because he had to go to the doctor, like something happened to his elbow. He's like, they gave me pain meds, let's do it tomorrow. I'm like, okay, no problem. And you throw that out there. It's so weird. Out of
Yes.
my
And
head.
I almost didn't show up because I had my surgery and I didn't feel well. And I was like, you know what? I need to work
And
because
he
I
had on his elbow and you had something on your Jesus Christ, Jess. You know what?
can't.
For those of you who don't know, Jess's thing on my phone, I don't know if it'll show up, but it says Jess and a little mind blown emoji. That's her
Yeah, it
contact.
kind of it's been getting really freaky lately with thinking about someone and then right away.
I don't know if y'all can see that. There's her name, Jess mind blown emoji.
Yeah. Um,
Weirdo. Well, maybe someday when you find your love and I find mine, we're gonna do a we'll do a couples trip to Bali. I'm in.
Definitely. I'm definitely going, and I
If
want
not, fuck other people. We'll just go with the kids and let them fucking play with each other.
yeah, I'm not waiting for anything. I'm just, like, going.
You're just gonna go. You're gonna leave your kids at home and pack up for the week. It's like a
No, they
20
can
something
come.
hour flight, I think.
As soon as I told them, as soon as I'm working 100% remotely
Mm-hmm.
with my spiritual counseling, relationship stuff, the podcast, our channel, as soon as I'm 100% remote, I'm pulling them out of school and we're traveling for at least 3 months. And you know what's on the list?
What's on the list?
Which I'll do a whole podcast just on this. Haunted places, like the ones that like are close by us, because that's where all the shit happened back in
Oh,
the
should we do
day.
field trip to a haunted location? You can do some cards and
Yeah,
see who's in there.
we're gonna go actually soon. We're gonna go where they filmed. I thought it was in Connecticut, but it's actually in Rhode Island, and I didn't even know this. That one, oh God, I just watched it this weekend with my daughter. It's not The Shining. It's an old one, and
Bates Motel.
no, it's
Amityville
about
Horror.
no, it's about like spirits, and it like follows this family, and the house is still there. They just did this thing in the summer where you could go like sleep over and like camp out in the yard and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I'd want to do that. I feel like some energy would probably get like near me and attached to me or something, but I definitely want to go check it out. Um, how come I cannot? Anyway, I'll have to ask my daughter.
Well, get back to lucid dreaming for anybody who's actually stayed this far and watched us all the way through.
All right, but haunted
If you have
places.
watched it all the way through, like and subscribe, please.
All right, so back to the lucid dreaming and the astral projection. There's a lot of stuff that you can kind of like use it for, but
Mhm.
I feel like for people that are kind of suffering with being apart from someone that they, are close to, are drawn to, um, the twin flame stuff, you have that magnet where you like really miss the person. Um, it's a way to connect, and or if someone has passed away and you want to connect with them, you can also, see them that way. If, you're
Mhm.
feeling, um, a lot of grief from missing, because our soul doesn't leave or change, we just lose our bodies, right?
Mhm.
So even if you're separate, like you and I don't see each other or something, and we want to connect, obviously we can get on this and we connect and see each other physically. But if we couldn't, I think of you and I got to connect with him. I can do that before I go to sleep, right?
Mhm.
Um, so
Oh, you think about
try
it
it,
when you go to bed,
try
Jess?
it. Everyone
I'm
try
gonna
it.
lucid dream you to Bali tonight. I'm gonna
All
lucid
right.
my thing. My lucid dream is that Jess is going to Bali tonight in her dreams. She's
That's
getting her
definitely for
vacation.
me. That's
Yes,
definitely for me.
that's for you.
Um,
I
and
will put in the
also
effort.
wanting, and we can wrap it up here, but if if you're spreading positivity in any way and you feel good about something, that's the direction to go in. Okay. If something doesn't feel good and you don't feel valued, or something is not sitting right with you, then obviously don't go in that direction. And that's with anything. I mean, I
Mhm.
happen to be talking about lucid dreaming and trying to, connect with someone, but in life in general, like no matter what, always go by how you're feeling. And if you're spreading positivity, or the people that you're spending your time with, if they're spreading positivity, if someone's putting you down or, pointing at you in any way, shape, or form of judgment, you got to back away from those people and you got to go in a different direction. And sometimes growth is a lonely road for a little bit until you connect with other like-minded people,
Mhm.
and now, circles are smaller, but everyone I have in my circle, I fucking love.
There
And I
you
know
go.
they love me too.
Yeah, you don't put to sum all that up. Don't put your energy where the energy is not reciprocated.